welcome back to the channel. We are in the kitchen this time, and I'm going to be taking you through my workout nutrition. So everything through what I eat, maybe pre, intra, if I'm doing anything intra, and post, and also supplementation. Supplements, as you know, aren't the be-all and end-all, but during certain periods of time, they can be slightly more beneficial and can give you that little bit of an edge that you need to maybe take a title or something like that. So we're gonna go and take you through that and potentially also be in muscle works and take you through whether or not I'm doing an intra-workout, what I'm doing post-workout, and take you through the supplements as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy that a lot. And as ever, guys, please do like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow. Let's get into things. So we're just making my first meal. So actually I have this about an hour and a half after waking up. So I take Ada out for a walk, get some sunlight, do a bit of work, and then I consume this. And actually that's because I like it to cool down as well. I don't know if people like their oats hot or cold. You can let me know. Maybe I'm weird for liking them cold. But what I do is I have 50 grams of oats, got to be Tesco, own brand, just Scottish oats. They cook the best. So then I add in some salt and then I get some water in there. And I'm using water because I don't appreciate the additional kind of flavor and texture that milk brings, and I do appreciate having extra calories for other things in the day. So I'm just using water, and I cook that for like 2 to 3 minutes, so it's kind of like a thick soup kind of texture. That's when I put in Ghost, so this is their vegan whey protein. Don't worry guys, it's a vegan blend, so it has a full amino acid profile, so you don't have to worry about kind of missing out on maximizing muscle protein synthesis. And I'm using vegan whey just because it's delicious, actually works incredibly well in oats, and I'm just transitioning to a more plant-based diet just for ethical reasons. But that's a whole nother kind of vlog in its own right. And at the moment I've got their new flavor, which is their coconut ice cream. There is no discount code or anything like that because I'm not affiliated with Ghost, but if they want to sponsor me, they absolutely can. So I then mix that in, and then I put in some frozen blueberries, and I put in some dark chocolate, which big fan of green and blacks. It's a good dark chocolate. And then I let that cool down. So that's getting me a bunch of carbohydrates. It's getting me a little bit of fat, and it's getting me obviously some blueberries with micronutrients. Dark chocolate is giving me some caffeine, but it's also gonna give me a bunch of other micronutrients, which could also be beneficial for health and potentially aid performance. I won't get too into detail about that, but really it's delicious. The whole meal is delicious, and I consume that at about 8, which is a couple of hours before I normally train. So that gives me a good amount of time to digest it, for it to settle, and so that I can get into my training and feeling well fueled and set up for a fantastic session. Before we leave for muscle works, I'm going to prepare my post-workout meal, and this is what I've had post-workout, I don't know, for the longest time during this prep. It's functional, it's not exciting, it gets the job done, it's a good amount of satiety, and the macros are there. So it is just boiled potatoes, so we're going to chop up some potatoes. Boiled potato in particular, boiled potato has a really high satiety score, so that's part of the reason. I was having cereal for a period of time, and I transitioned to more satiety producing foods. So that's why the boiled potatoes there. Egg whites, because egg whites, you're a bodybuilder, you have to have egg whites. Obviously just protein basically, there's no fats with that. I have some mustard on that, or some low sugar salt ketchup is normally what I have. I obviously salt it all as well. And then I'll also have some pepper, or sometimes a tomato, just some veg there again. For satiety, obviously the micronutrients as well aren't a bad thing. Prep brain is letting me down. Prep brain is a thing. Slow, you're just slow. You're on low power saver mode. So I have forgotten, I also have some fruit. So normally it's whatever the odd box, which is something me and Charlotte get, has in for store, but it's gonna be 2 small apples. It's funny, until you mention it, it doesn't seem weird to me. This meal, I was like, this is a normal healthy meal, you know? This is a standard bodybuilder meal. Though maybe it needs to be, what's it called, cream of rice. I haven't done that yet.
You feel that? right now, for someone who's not prepping, that does seem like something that's a bit more appealing than eggs and potatoes. Yeah. But I bet it tastes delicious.
Enough salt and ketchup, it's amazing.
That's why. Do you think you should ever trust a bodybuilder with food recommendations?
No, that's actually a really good point, because often it happens where when bodybuilders are in prep, then they get, well, and I mean, bikini competitors, everyone, and you're more into food, so you get really foodie, like on your socials or whatever, and then you're sharing all this food, and you're like, oh yeah, you should try this recipe, it tastes amazing. Never trust them, never trust their food reviews, anything, because our taste buds change. A carrot tastes sweet and delicious. So yeah, don't trust anything I say about food right now. So one thing that I missed was caffeine. Obviously, caffeine is, I guess it's the most widely consumed drug in the world, and it's the best evidence-based kind of supplement for sports performance. And I have a Monster, and I typically have this actually just a bit after breakfast, and it kind of gets me through the morning. This has about 150 milligrams of caffeine, and I don't then have more caffeine generally unless it's, I don't know, later in my mesocycle or I'm really fatigued. So I'm having this now, and that'll just give me a nice little boost through the rest of the day. And I keep that very consistent. And by having the additional pre-workout caffeine, which might be another 150 to maybe even up to 300 milligrams, I'm reaching that more kind of ergogenic dose, which I think is between 3 to 6 milligrams per kilo generally. But even a small amount of caffeine in the morning is still going to help me out. But I just don't need like a full dose right now. And I do have something else which I have on the way to help with sports performance potentially, that I enjoy, but not caffeine-based. So I'm just packing my bag. Got my Intra-Workout, which we'll talk a little bit about. I've got something here we'll also talk about, which I'll consume on the way. And then, yeah, putting my post-workout in here, and then we're on the way.
Nothing comes easy, you can't even see what's holding you back. You gotta be tough every minute, every hour, with all of your power, till it's never enough. The higher you climb, the steeper it gets. You can feel your sweat materialize. Get up on your feet, time to dig deep. You can find that strength to set yourself free.
So we're at Muscle Works, and before we go in, I'm just gonna prepare my pre-workout. So this is just a pump formula, so this doesn't contain any caffeine or any stimulants. It's basically citrulline malate and some other fun things that potentially could enhance blood flow, vasodilation, and enhance a pump. Importantly, it tastes really good. I like this peach one from Ghost. This is the first time I've tried this one, and I just like having a pump formula because more than anything, probably a placebo that I just enjoy having it before I go work out and train. And if it gives me a bit more of a vascular pumped look, then it's great for the Instagram shots and to make me feel big. So gonna make this one up. You guys might see me sipping on a shaker during some of my sessions, and that isn't just water in here. You may just have water, and keeping hydrated in your sessions is important, but having an intra-workout shake might be something you'd want to apply now and then. This is obviously part of supplementation, kind of a part of nutrient timing, so it's not of a huge importance compared to other components of your diet, but it definitely can play a role, especially in certain scenarios. So for me, I actually have an intra-workout almost year round, because I often train twice a day, so I have an AM session and then hit my PM session later. So it's important for me to replenish glycogen as quick as possible. And also during periods of time of just low glycogen availability, such as being very lean, dieting for a long extended period of time and not consuming a lot of carbohydrates, having an intra-workout shake to keep blood sugar higher and have that ready available glycogen to replace and replenish can be really beneficial. So you will have got from that I have carbohydrates in here. So I normally use dextrose. You can use highly branched cyclic dextrin if that upsets your stomach, but dextrose I find is fine. Some people just use table sugar. You can even find some even like fruit juices work okay for people, like cherry juice or something like that. But yeah, I use 20 grams of that at the moment. Along with that, I have a whey isolate. So I have the protein there, not for like the MPS or anything like that. It's only 10 grams. But having protein alongside the carbohydrate actually speeds up the glycogen replenishment that you get. So I just have the protein for that reason. And it can be anti-catabolic along with the carbohydrates, which could be beneficial during an extended dieting period. And then I have some salt in there as well. And with that, 20 grams of dextrose, 10 grams of whey isolate, a little bit of salt, and then I have about 700 mils of fluid. And that gets me to a nice balance of kind of fluid to like carbohydrate and protein and all that good stuff. So it's a good dilution. So you might not always want to use it. Like I said, it's in places of where you're going to be in a glycogen depleted state. So if you're training twice daily, if you're training first thing in the morning, if you've been dieting for a long period of time and have a really long high volume session, those are places where an intra-workout might be somewhat beneficial. Certainly not necessary, but might just give you that edge in those scenarios. Or even in a massing phase where you're in an inordinate amount of calories and it's just an opportunity to get in a bunch more calories where otherwise you'd be not eating. It can be helpful in that context too. So that's what I'm sipping on.
Let go of the reins, it's time to get loose. It's in my veins. It's time to get loose and break the chains. It's time to get loose. Let go of the reins. It's time to get loose. It's in my veins. Yeah. I'm totally untamed. Yeah. I'm tamed.
So we're now in a park just outside Bethnal Green. And did you know when it started like that?
We're in a bar.
Some park in Bethnal Green. I'm sat having my post-workout, which I think has leaked a little bit, which isn't ideal, but we have a bag with the juice. And this is the post-workout that you saw earlier. So this is my potatoes, the pepper, egg whites, a little bit of mustard and salt. And essentially this is a good amount of satiety because it's kind of a decent amount of food volume from the veggies, from the potato, egg whites. Lower fat because I'm not consuming a bunch of fat anyway. But I tend to like a lower fat post-workout. Normally it's more of a concern if I'm training again later because I want digestion speed to be a little faster. Because I'm only training once today, I'm not as worried, but it's my standard post-workout meal. And gonna sit, enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I enjoy every meal. You do enjoy every meal on prep. There's no meals you don't enjoy. We've covered pre, intra, post-workout nutrition, supplementation. Hopefully there's been some principles you can take away from that or something you can apply to your clients. Don't just copy it for the sake of copying it. Use those principles and you can apply them. And if you want to learn more in depth, you can look at our members site. You can look at our bodybuilding guide that we have available, the Ultimate Bodybuilding Guide for contest prep. And as ever, please comment any questions you have, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you, and we'll catch you soon.